Friends and good family of Team Sauti. We're so happy that every time we are looking for people to talk to, you're always there giving us audience, listening to us, and of course, giving us every kind of motivation that we may need to keep on moving on. Because even a motivator needs to be motivated. Even a fuel tanker needs to be fueled. So it's a good thing and it's a joy that this afternoon we've seen you know, being here to listen to us and of course to have a word with us. It's a rare occurrence that we've decided to test waters rather to go live. It's not usually our thing, but yeah, welcome. I want us to share something, and today I want to take us through some topic on this book that I did some few years ago. It's called Succeeding Successfully. And so, ladies and gentlemen, one of the topics in this book is called Thinking Business. And so, as you can see, you've come and God bless you. So, thinking business, and I want to begin with a quote from one Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins said, "People who succeed have momentum. The more they succeed, the more they want to succeed. The more they find a way to succeed. Similarly, when someone is failing, the tendency is to get on downward spiral that can even become a self-fulfilling prophecy." That is Tony Robbins. In a nutshell, what Tony Robbins was saying is that whatever you gather momentum for is what builds in you. If you get momentum for doing good things, you will stand an opportune moment to become a doer. It builds in you. If you begin to fail in business and you wear a negative attitude towards the failure, you will most probably keep on failing. The most approach in any field, in anything, and more so in this spectrum of business, the most important thing that you should carefully note and walk by is the knowledge that every occurrence in business should be a lesson for you to learn. The thing is, always endeavor to learn before you earn. That way, you will grow your ways of earning and you will always be pulling in, you will always be earning every now and then because you have learned and you will be in a position to tame what you get. That is the first rule of the game. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let me share a few nuggets from this one chapter. That there are so many lies and misconceptions about business, how simple it is to begin and run one. The best and most successful business one can trust in is easy, rather, that one can trust in easily is not the one that was begun. That is one of the misconceptions that I want to demystify this afternoon. Most people think that success of a business is in the amounts invested. Could be true, but it could also be truly wrong. Because most people think that once they get a lot of money to invest in business, the business will regenerate and have capital for investment. I may agree, but I may also not agree. Because unless first you gather what you said, learning before earning, you might have a lot of money and the same money might be lost in the name of business. You first need to do your homework and assignment well and carefully, because the amounts of investment don't determine always the success of a business. Some businesses have thrilled from almost nothing to is what matters most. The second misconception that I want to identify is that the best business that one should invest in is one that friends with your network began, and that is a correct, because it is true that most people will want to do what their friends did, and perhaps they succeeded. I may not say it's not a I may not say it's a bad idea, but I am here to say that it is an idea that may not be ascertained in whichever way. What we can say here is this: the right and the strategic approach to establishing a business is following your desires, going for what you love, going for what you have interest in, going for what you like most. That is the most strategic approach to face, because they are your friends and you know what they usually do, and you think that because they did it, you'll also do it and you'll succeed. No, you may successfully fail. Do the business that you have motivation for. That way, you will have overcome this one misconception of I'll do the business that my friend did and they succeeded. So, the question is, what should you do before endeavoring to engage in any business? I'm going to mention several do's and several don'ts. What you should do before you engage in any business, and what you should avoid before you do the same. And the first on the do's is this. But before I mention the first, I want to echo words of one Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde said, "When I was young, I used to think that money is the most important thing in life. Now that I am old, I know that it is indeed." The holy words of God say that money is a solution to many problems. I know most lazy people will say that money is, the source or the root of all evil, but that is a statement of a lazy person, because the Bible is very categorical. The love for money is the first. Feasibility study is stepping out of your zone, both physically, geographically, mentally, and in whichever other way you can do your own research. Stepping out to go and do research. Stepping out to go and identify several things about the business that is in line with the one that you want to engage in. For example, if you want to invest in textile, you may want to establish your business in a place where there are many tailors. If you want to invest in a chemist, you may wish to locate your business perhaps in a place where there are clinics, hospitals, or other healthcare facilities, because it means that that's the area where your clientele will be visiting frequently. So do your feasibility test. And actually, you could also do a pre-feasibility test. That is a test that goes before the feasibility test. That's going out to know what you are most likely to face. The other thing is conduct a market survey. There's a difference between feasibility test and a market survey. Feasibility test mostly is about geography, where you want to locate your business, where you want to establish your business. Is there a good road network? Is there availability of labor? Do you have market for do you even have things like water? Because they are supplements of your success in any business that you want to establish. Then number 2 is do market survey. Market survey helps in the following ways. 1, it helps in in identification of customers' availability. That is, knowing the ideal market. Knowing that here, if I begin this kind of a business, understand, Look at where you want to focus most and be strategic. No, look at the ideal market, not the assumed market. Number two, market survey helps in identification of availability of suppliers. Don't go to a place where you can get customers but can't get supplies. If suppliers can't reach you, even if there is enough market, you might never successfully sell, because otherwise you may have content to sell, and once you've sold it, you not get stocking again. The other thing is customers network. This is what we call understanding operational region. Knowing that the network of this area, my customers, the ones I'm targeting will be coming from this area, this area, this area, this area. It will also help you in chances of growth. If you want to establish a branch of what you want to establish in the future, where shall you move? Where shall you be headed to? You'll also know your operational zone. You'll be in a position to do what we call market strategy. Putting up of market strata. It is very important to look at that. The other thing, when you're establishing a business, look at what we call employable workforce. There could be availability of people who appear as workforce or labor, but it might not be employable. This is what I mean. Imagine in Nairobi, you want to establish a new business where you'll need people to work for you. For example, you want to establish a business, a small hotel, and you take it to some place in Upper Hill, for example. Yes, there are people living there, but the question is, will you get workforce there? Will you get people to work with you? Will you get the people that you want to be helping you in working? So look at what we call employable workforce. There could be workforce but not employable for your business. The other thing, when you're doing market survey, you'll be knowing the place to relocate, rather to locate your business, the specific place. You could have the regional, what we have called the operational zone, but you'll need a specific location. Where exactly do you most likely want to establish your business? Even knowing the shop that you will want to establish your business in, even knowing the exact, I would wish if it were among, rather in between, either care about, at least you have a specific target. And so there are so many reasons why you should do market survey, including also knowing the competitors in the job market, so that you will know that once I have my business here, if you are doing butchery, once you have your business here, you'll be in a position to know the next person who has an established business is these yards away from me, and so forth and so on. And maybe the last thing we should consider when it comes to doing a feasibility study is developing a business. When you're doing the do's of a business before establishing it is developing a business plan. It's something that should be structured in the right way, giving a roadmap of where you're beginning, where you are headed to, and where you're most likely to land. Business idea is a tool of establishment. It's part of the capital. When you're looking for capital, you should always also invest in coming up with a business plan. You cannot survive in any business without its plan, because you will always live your plan. You can never outlive your plan. You can never shortlive your plan. You can only walk your plan. When you're doing a plan, you'll at least in a position to know what are the challenges that are most likely to be felt. And I will quote words of Walt Disney. He said that the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Now is the time to establish your business. Don'ts. I'm going to pass through don'ts before establishing a business in a nutshell. Number one, don't start up a business with loan money unless you have a guaranteed positive returns from the business. Some businesses may have positive returns that are guaranteed, pre-guaranteed. But if it is not a pre-guaranteed return, positive return to the business, kindly, as much as you can, avoid beginning your first business with loan, because loan will always want to be surfaced every month, and you are not sure of this consistency when it comes to income and the cash flow into the business. The other thing is use your personal bank it's like a basic, I mean, your husband, your wife, because it grows, it feeds, it's sheltered, it can die. So tame your business like another person, not individual. So use a different bank account than yours. The other thing is, don't confuse personal friends with business friends. Your personal friend might be a business enemy, and that you have to live with. You cannot avoid this. You are much different from your business. That's a thing that you cannot avoid. There are people who will come to your business because they are friends to the business, but you are strangers in real sense. There are people who are real friends in life, but you will never, because they are meant to be so. Business and you are different, and you should not feel bad because they are there and they are not buying from you. They are not your business friends, they are just friends. That is it, and we have to live with it. Number four, the thing that you should not do when getting into business, you should not have very high expectations of returns from business at the start. Because as I've said, your business is like your child. You first grow it, you first feed it, you first establish it, you make it first live. When it's stable and living, you'll be now in a position to hope from it. Don't have too high expectations, because we say that too high expectations lead easily into depression, and you might close down the business early before it even begins to service you, or rather to serve you. So those are some of the few things, friends, that I wanted to share today. And I'm so happy that you've taken your time to walk with me in the third part of the chapter about establishing business, how to go about it, and do's and don'ts of establishment of business. The next time, I think we'll be talking about grooming an entrepreneurial mind. Thank you so much. We're walking through the book Poor by Choice or Succeeding Successfully, a book that I did a few years ago, and it's been a blessing to me and to many. Thank you so much, friends, and God bless you. We love you so much.